Here's what most well-meaning seasoned leaders don't realize about leading team members you don't understand, or whose feelings show up to work before they do, or just outright irritates you with their toxicness. It's not just about policies, performance plans, and setting expectations anymore, right? It's about managing those deeply integrated habits, updated processes, and those different work era mindsets. Often with limited authority, and you're not able to really make timely changes. Even great leaders stumble here, okay? So I don't want you to feel alone, because there's no 2-day conferences that can teach you how to lead inside a system that's frankly designed to resist change. And with all of that stacked against you, it costs you more than just productivity. It drains your patience, it drains your confidence, it drains your capacity, and before long, ultimately, the trust that you have for your team. If you are a strong, competent public servant leader, finding yourself consistently correcting, re-explaining, or emotionally recovering after interaction with that certain individual team member, then pull up your chair, okay? Because today I want you to know that you're a leader that can do this. And yes, even if that's the same chair that's been around since your last 3 predecessors, don't you worry. And believe you me, this is not shade, because I've been here before. I've lived this, okay? And even if you happen to, let's say you got a new chair, kudos to you, but there's still that left behind mindset that's lurking in the shadows that you're trying to overcome. And we'll get more into that later. So let me be clear. You showing up, doing your best, and still struggling with that certain difficult individual on your team, you're not alone. It's not your fault. You don't have a character flaw. You are not a failure as a leader. You're likely facing misalignment, not a lack of skill. You had the conversation, you've tried the coaching. I know you have. Still dealing with resistance from that team member, missed deadlines, emotional outbursts, just outright disengagement. At times, you second guess yourself and you wonder if this is your fault at all, because you're leading other people, and especially those toxic ones that require a different set of tools. You've most likely already tried pulling them into your office, trying to really understand them with the one-on-ones, being extra nice. You know how that goes. And unfortunately, a performance improvement plan is not warranted, nor do you want the stress, right? And then when you have inherited layers of old systems, that infamous, that's the way we've done it, or that's the way it told me how to do it, those agency rules, those job protections, things even get harder. You're left really wondering, are you the problem? And that quiet doubt, it's exhausting you. I've had a client for a few years now, and when she first came to me, let's just call her Sarah, enjoyed her chief administrating role, and she knew she was a good boss. She felt stuck in the area of mastering that area of leadership when it comes to things aren't just task-based anymore. You have to really now start narrowing in on realizing that people just aren't tasks. You need to show up, even though you're good at problem solving, moving fast, and getting results. That's probably how you got in that role, right? That's why the higher ups value you and know they view you as capable. But even in public sector, that normally means it's often tied to you excelling in compliance. You know how to set up processes. You know how to get community outcomes. But it's not necessarily managing the behavior and the morale of people. For the most part, you didn't get here with that. Her team was established and they had a rhythm, but she knew that they could do more. You've been there. You're like, I know that they're good at what they do. They can do more. Her biggest issue was leading people that operated in a manner that was emotionally messy and unpredictable. She had her logic, her work ethic got her to this point, but now she needed to do leadership different. She needed to evolve in her leadership. The gap between what she expected and how they behaved and operated, this was not a match. It was not because she didn't know what she was doing. It wasn't that she did anything wrong. The reason why she reached out to me was for support. She had outgrown her strategies that used to work. So let's break this down even more so. What did I do to help her with this? How was I able to help Sarah T build the skills she needed to deal with those not so easy to get along with team members? She needed to lead difficult team members with strategy and let her get to a point where she had emotional understanding. If you're not sure that this is an instance that you basically need help with, I want you to ask you the question, in this particular scenario, would you be able to pick alignment over control? And if you're able to say yes, then go ahead, skip over, go to my next video, which will be just as juicy as this one. No love lost. It's going to be a really good one. That one will definitely help you. But if you decided that this may be a skill that you realize you could use to improve in, I want you to go ahead and lean in. This is where I am going to get into the Spark tool. This comes in handy because it's designed for you to help high-level leaders realign how they show up in moments of pressure, especially when dealing with a difficult team member, okay? Now, first thing we need to do, we're going to use the S in Spark, which stands for self-awareness. When you start with self-awareness, then you're able to notice what about this person is triggering you instead of reacting to your default and not their actual behavior. Just take suit to that. Then we want to get into the P part of Spark. When you get into difficult personalities that require more than a calendar invite, I want you to prep for this outcome. When dealing with a difficult personality, it requires more than just putting that difficult conversation a calendar invite. It means that you want to prepare for the outcome, the emotional, tactical outcome. Don't hope that things go well, plan for it, okay? And then the last one is the K. People who resist or underperform need motivation. They need momentum, not lectures. That just irritates them. Break the task or the desired behavior into a clear, small next step. That movement matters more than the full plan, okay? And that's going to create momentum. This is a part of one of the many tools that I work with public service leaders, my clients, and the same thing happens in a microdose inside our leadership alignment call. This is something that starts letting you see through the patterns as well as the opportunity when these tough issues come up before you. It's not just to fix the person, but we figure out together how to realign you so that you can lead the team. And if what I'm saying resonates with you, it might be something worth checking out. I know you're feeling the strains right now, not because you don't care, but because you do care. And I just want you to know you are not alone. There's nothing wrong with you, but your leadership strategy just might be due an upgrade. We dig into this more in the next video. Why your team feels lazy, toxic, or checked out. And how can you fix it? That's where we start mapping the real breakdowns and how to shift things even inside the bureaucratic system. That's your next step towards leading with clarity and less emotional exhaustion, even in a legacy system. Let's get your energy, clarity, and your team back on track.